In the event that my channel gets large enough to potentially develop an official relationship with NRS, I hope this video doesn't cost me that opportunity. However, we gotta keep things real. It is now 2:15 on Tuesday, October the 24th. The patch came out yesterday, we downloaded it, and at this very moment, we still don't have a patch note link. L number one. L number two. Historically, NRS has been terrible at making balance patches anyway. Look no further than Mortal Kombat 11. Upgraded Jackie, never got touched. Slight Basketball, never got touched. Cetrion, never got touched. Sindel full screen KB, never got touched. Guess who did get touched? 3 times in a row, back-to-back-to-back patches. Johnny Cage, Rising Star on block, costs an offensive and a defensive bar. Why? And the reason I bring up Johnny Cage in particular is because it ties into Cyrax and Mortal Kombat 1, but first let's finish up Mortal Kombat 11 with breakaways. Now the gripe that we have with breakaways is that, hey, when I knock somebody down, they're breaking out of my combo and then punishing me. I shouldn't be getting hit for being right. What did NRS do? They added armor break moves, but the armor break moves weren't universal to every character. Some of them require slots, some of them was a base move, some of them got KBs off of it, some of them got combo extension, and some got hard knockdown. So still unbalanced, implemented poorly, when in reality, they could have had a simple solution by making breakaways either be combo breaker instead, or you could have made breakaway have delayed wake up, so now we don't get punished, which was the original gripe in the first place. And my only reason for referencing any of that is the fact that NRS has a habit of trying to solve things that nobody's asking for. In breakaway, we said, hey, I don't want to get hit by doing a combo on somebody. Delayed wake up solves that, but no, you did something else. And now we have the same problem back in Mortal Kombat 1. Which brings me to my Johnny Cage and Cyrax analogy. Of course, we don't want to see Cyrax getting free chip damage by calling out that assist over and over and over, but what you don't want is a situation where you overcorrect. A whole bar and 22 seconds of cooldown is overkill. That's just too much. You're overthinking the situation. If anything, maybe you just take away his chip damage. That way, you can still employ the strategy of being safe on block or having your turn and keeping that pressure going, but you're not getting free damage for it. But you take away a core thing of what he does, nobody's gonna use the move anymore. That's not what you want. That doesn't give variety. You're just the character. And one of the most frustrating things about being a Mortal Kombat player and creator is that we have a lot of casuals because this title is so popular, and they'll say things like, oh, you're just mad you can't get away with that cheap stuff anymore. But I've never played Cyrax cameo or Kung Lao cameo, so it's not about that. My thing is, when you put things inside of a box, you limit the creativity. And the main selling point from the pre-launch promo run by Ed Boon was that it's all about player expression and player creativity. Well, if that's the case, why are we nerfing things 6 weeks in? We're taking away damage from combos, we're taking away full bar for a cameo assist, when in reality, there's a more reasonable solution. That's what's frustrating about NRS, and they have a history of doing this shit. Now, another thing that I'm getting in my comments a lot is, Lou, this isn't supposed to be a two-touch game in regards to the damage. I'd actually argue that this is kind of true and not at the same time. Let me explain why. So let's say that we both have around 2.5 bars and we interact in the neutral. I open you up for a combo, you spend your bars in order to not have to hold that combo. So you break away, right? You do a breaker. Now the next interaction, either you need to win that interaction, or if I win it and I have 2.5 to 3 bars left, you gotta hold whatever the fuck I come up with because you lost 2 interactions in a row. You're getting punished for making mistakes. So it's not about it being a two-touch game. It's not a two-touch game because you lost the previous interaction. So you pretty much eliminated one touch with your breaker. Now the next one you gotta hold. So to me, that's not a two-touch game. That's 2 opportunities for you to have a chance to open me up, and instead you got opened up, and that goes both ways. So it's not an advantage for one player, it's just an advantage for the better player. So I would argue that the damage should have been left the same because it's fun to do big ass combos, and when you say player creativity and player expression, well, some players like to express themselves through big damage and saucy shit. Some like to do setups, some like to do gimmicks. It's all different for everybody, but the people that like big combos, they shouldn't have got scaled down because it's not supposed to be a two-touch game. It's not a two-touch game if you don't spend your breaker in the previous interaction. And then last but not least is the inconsistency of the strategy. What exactly we're doing here with the balance patches? Because we have Johnny Cage, who's a top 3 character. He didn't get touched at all. He was all throughout ECT, he didn't get touched at all. We hardly saw Scorpion, but then you nerf Scorpion's air combos and make the juggles harder to do for less damage. So it's like, where's the consistency? Where's the logic? It's like, you take the thing that gets complained about the most, throw something at the wall and hopes to stick with Cyrax, but then you touch a character that was barely represented in the tournament. It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, When it comes to having a fun game full of player creativity and player expression, as they said, I didn't make that up. They said that. Stephanie said that, Ed Boon said that, Tyler said that, Derek said that in the Kombat cast. This is their words. I didn't make this up. So the thing is, if it's all about player expression and player creativity, why are we taking things away? The thing that Dragon Ball FighterZ understands, why it's been on the Evo main stage for 6 years, even though it has shitty netcode, is if you give everybody the broken shit, the players are gonna solve it and figure it out. At the end of the day, who was in grand finals in the tournament? Sonic, Fox, and Ninja Killer. Why? Cyrax is accessible to everybody. Raiden's accessible to everybody, but who was in grand finals? The two best players. At the end of the day, give us all the broken shit, and the players are gonna solve and figure it out. The thing with NRS is they just overthink way too much. You're overcorrecting way too much. If the trade-off was certain characters catching strays just for you to correct Cyrax and Kung Lao, I'd rather them stay broken, at least so the game can stay fun. But it's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks since release, and you're doing balance patches. Why? It's too soon. Like, let the game flesh out. Let players discover more. Let players see what's more available. Okay, real Cyrax in. Take away his chip damage. Maybe change his cooldown. You don't give him the Death Hammer. Same thing with Kung Lao. You barely even touch Kung Lao's low hat. So what was the point? It just doesn't make sense. There's no consistency. When you look at games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, you know why that game has been on Evo main stage for 6 years with shitty netcode? Is because people want to do that really fun shit that I practiced in my room for 4 hours. I don't want to just wake up one day and the shit that I've been practicing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks just be gone. And that's what Mortal Kombat has a tendency to do when it comes to these balance patches. It's like, there's no consistency, there's no logic. Sometimes just let people figure it the fuck out. Cyrax needed to be touched. We all can agree on that. But it's like you gave him a Death Hammer and then you start touching other shit that nobody asked for. Who asked for Scorpion air combos to be changed? Who asked for less damage? We were all having fun, and it's like, if you're doing this in 6 weeks, what happens in 3 months? What happens in 6 months? What happens in a year from now? Street Fighter been out since June 6th. Tournament still popping, 5,000 people signing up. They ain't touched the damn thing. People complain about Ken and JP, but they haven't touched nothing, and the game's still fun. I love Street Fighter, but I love Mortal Kombat 1 more, so of course I came to play this. But for the people that really love Street Fighter, they're not leaving that game no time soon. You're overthinking, you're overcorrecting, and you're changing the meta of the game for people who ain't gonna be around to play it in 6 months. You're doing this for casuals that suck. And it's like, bro, let the players solve it. The best players are gonna figure out the things at the top. Other players are gonna copy on the way down. But if everything's broken and everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, you get a lot of creativity. When you start limiting shit and taking shit away, now you kind of force us to play in this box. Okay, who are the 5 characters that have the broken shit? We're gonna use them. No, just let everybody be broken. Let everybody be broken, we'll figure it out. That's my biggest gripe with this damn balance patch. And so the main thing is that this wasn't really meant to be a rant per se. I'm just voicing my opinions on the situation. And the problem with Mortal Kombat is we got a lot of casuals, so people gonna be in my comments, oh, you're just mad, you're trash, that you can't get away with the cheap stuff. But anybody who's been on this channel for a while knows I haven't played Cyrax not once, haven't played Kung Lao Cameo not once. So I'm not saying this out of bias. I'm saying that out of the fact that I want a really fun game where a ton of creativity is allowed. And when you start nerfing things at week 6, it's like, bro, that's a bad sign. You know, like, take away the really broken stuff or adjust it, manage it properly, you know what I'm saying? Cyrax and Kung Lao, they need to be managed. But if I was a Cyrax player and I called him out, for me to not get him back for 22 seconds, that's obnoxious, bro. A good round of Mortal Kombat only lasts around like 50 seconds if both the players are skilled. So you telling me that Cyrax is gonna be going for half of that if I call him out once? You're pretty much killing the character at that point, you know what I'm saying? And I know sometimes I even get accused of being a Mortal Kombat cheerleader. So to hear me kind of speaking against something they're doing is probably surprising to some of you guys, but it's like, I try to be open-minded. But the thing is, it's week 6, dog. And at the end of the day, in grand finals and tournament, yeah, we don't want to see Cyrax do what he did, but at the same time, Ninja Killer and Sonics were the ones in grand finals. So obviously, the meta still holds true that the best players are still winning. There's no broken stuff anybody's getting away with. Everybody has access to it. And if you want the lower characters that's not being selected to come up, then bring them up. But you don't make the game better by taking away the cool shit that some characters have and not giving other characters doper things, because then we just left at the bottom with a bunch of vanilla nonsense, and that's not what I want. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I noticed that the balance patch notes have came out since I started recording this video. I haven't taken a direct look at them yet, but this was more so about my thoughts on the philosophy of how they go about patches, because it's not about the notes in itself, but some of the things that I saw in the notes and some of the responses that I saw to it, they haven't been very promising. And we're at 6 weeks, dog. The game came out September the 14th for early release, if I'm not mistaken. It's October the 24th. You're not giving the game no chance to evolve. Kill the two things that's messed up, that's broken, and let everything else evolve. But like, to be doing major patches in 6 weeks after the first tournament, that's insane. So let me know if y'all agree in the comments. And if y'all don't, of course, y'all gonna dog me out in the comments like y'all always do. Oh, you trash, or you this, or you're that. But it's like, fam, hey, at the end of the day, swaggy combos, big damage, being punished if you got opened up after you got rid of your breaker, that was fun to me. It should have been fun to y'all. Let me know what you think. Till next time, peace. Nice.